all the testing showed that you had a heart attack. You're having surgery in the morning. Okay. The time is now. Welcome to the Time is Now podcast with Dr. Slava Shut. I am Dr. Slava Shut, doctor of physical therapy, entrepreneur, CEO. Thank you for being here today. It's a special time for me today. Our special guest today is me, myself, and I. We decided that the best thing to do is basically let the audience know who I am. Today's podcast is about me. Initially, I want to let everybody know that I'm a human being just like everybody else. People come to my clinics. They know me from financial advice, medical advice. I do coaching. I help people get motivated and uplift their lives. A lot of religious topics. So we're going to go through a gamut of things. We're going to go through a little bit of timeline. I'm going to take you on a journey. We're going to talk about a few things. One of the first things that I want to say is I was born in a little country called Ukraine. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but there's a little war going on there right now. It's a problem. I don't want to get political. I don't want to get into it. It's a horrible thing and it needs to end. But that's where I was born. My family immigrated to this country beginning of the 1980s. My parents left a communist country with their shirts on their back to come to freedom, prosperity, the American dream. When we got to this country, my parents had two little kids with no money, no nothing. Their education, everything they learned was in another country, with another language, another culture. They came here, worked hard. I mean, really worked really hard. One of the things that taught me basically to be an entrepreneur is watching my grandparents, my parents, my aunts and uncles on both sides of the family. They came to this country with nothing and worked so hard to have something. The entire family, you know, whether you call us rich, not rich, that's debatable. And that's semantics. You know, people look at money and success in different ways. You know, nobody's a billionaire, right? We all worked hard. But the thing that came to me over and over again is I watched everybody hustle and bustle and do different things. And they worked so hard. They did so many things. They did what it took to succeed. They rolled up their sleeves and they went to work. That mindset sticks with me right now. So as I grew up, I watched the hard work. I went to school like every other kid. I learned. I got beat up. When you're a little kid named Slava in Los Angeles, let me tell you, it was like being in jail in county, and some new guy walks in, and little scrawny crybaby. Let me tell you, I got my fair share of atomic wedgies and noogies, and my clothes torn. I had black eye, busted lip, bloody nose. Probably a couple of times a week, very easily. I had toys taken. It was a little rough. But then over time, that kind of shaped my personality too. So, you know, talk about getting uncomfortable. When you get beat up a lot and you're a skinny little kid, it makes you tougher later. So right now, I could probably eat half the people who have, ever picked on me. But that's okay. You made me tougher. Just like I talk about you trolls all the time, all you bullies out there, guess what? One day, you're going to make that person really tough. So you hope they never remember you. Anyway, so as I grew up, the bullying obviously stopped as I got a lot bigger, tougher, stronger, well-trained. Now my bite is a lot harsher than my bark. So that helped me in business. I went to school for many years. I have a bachelor's in sports medicine. I have a master's in sports medicine and I have a doctorate in physical therapy. My education is absolutely vital. It's one of the things that are one of the most valuable things in my life that no one could take away from me. I have multiple businesses. I have a thriving medical career, thank God. Yet I still continue to do continuing education. I learn. I take courses all the time. I rack up other certifications. There's quite a few things next to my name. Why? From hard work. I don't settle for mediocrity. I don't settle for low standards. I am not average. I refuse to be average. I'm one of those weirdos that just keeps on going, keeps moving forward, learns. And learning is interesting. Do you know that some of the wisest people in history, like King Solomon, which is considered the wisest man of all time, has said you could learn from all people? I believe that. I've learned from my employees, my students, my children, my wife, my friends. I've learned from a lot of people. I pick things up all the time. I'm like a sponge. When you're present, attentive to the people around you, you learn. You have experiences. And it shapes your mindset, the culture that are around. Everything is shaped through experience. So through education, through experience, through watching hard work, getting bullied, I developed a personality. My personality is tough. I'm lovable. I can be funny, but I'm also tough. I don't mess around. I don't tolerate nonsense. I don't tolerate bullying. I help people every single day. Everything that I've learned, getting more religious, I'm a religious Jew. I practice. I pray 3 times a day. I'm a firm believer in God's message to be a light upon the nations, to help others, to be kind, to be courteous, to be respectful. There are many people that have different opinions than I do, maybe politically, sports, even how maybe I even run my practice. But that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. We could have a strong personality. You could be tough, gritty, a go-getter. But the main thing that I want to tell people is, and I say this all the time in a lot of my social media posts, you can be a successful entrepreneur, you can make money, and still be a good person. You can be ethical. You can be kind. You can be courteous. You could go that extra mile for other people. And that is what separates people. There's people who make money out there. There's a lot of people who make good money. But are they happy? Are they content? Do they want to do the right thing? Or is it just about me, 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 me? Now, to go on the other side, being an entrepreneur, being a good person, that's good too. But have you ever heard the saying, money is the root of all evil? I've heard it. I've been on both sides of this fence. I remember a time where we didn't have much money. We didn't have anything. But my parents worked hard. They provided everything that I ever needed, thank God. But money also buys donations, charity, building schools, building synagogue, churches, good things where people go and they get uplifted. Money buys clothing, shelter, food. I'll even admit that probably a lot of people that come approach me and talk to me is because I am financially successful. If I wasn't, I don't know how many people would talk to me. And that's the sad reality. You have some of these people that have just blown up recently. And some of my mentors, Ed Milet, Ryan Stewman, Grant Cardone, they're financially successful. They've taught me a lot. I listen, I take notes. They've helped shape my personality. They've helped shape my entrepreneurship. And they've taught me that, again, you could be a good person and be an entrepreneur. But the bottom line is, you wouldn't listen to any of us if we didn't have money. Now, you could blame it on society, you could hate the world, but the reality is, look, we look up to people who are financially successful. Whether that's right or wrong, that's up to you. But again, money is not the root of all evil. Money can be evil. You could do bad things with money, but you could do great things with money. I love helping people. I love that I could treat patients for fun. I'm happy that I could provide for my family. I'm happy that I could provide happiness and joy to other people who may not have much, and when they have that money, they seem to cheer up. And when people are in dire straits and they are, as they say, their backs are to the wall and somebody helps them, that's joy. That is pure joy. And all of you out there, I encourage to somehow go out there and help another person. So when I coach people and people that I've learned from, one of the best ways to feel better is when you help others. So anytime that I'm feeling just a little bit off, I'm feeling not myself, I'm feeling maybe not my utmost, I go out there and help somebody, and instantly, I mean, it's immediate, I feel better. To take you on a little journey, about 2 years ago, for whatever reason, speaking of health issues, September 2020, we're in the middle of the pandemic. For whatever reason, I started to have heart attack symptoms. I was taken to the hospital. I arrived at a hospital in a t-shirt, middle of COVID. They took one look at me and they said, "There's nothing wrong with you. You're not having a heart attack. You have an anxiety." Okay, as I'm standing outside of triage because, well, I'm jacked, you know. They said, there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, when they finally got me in, 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, I'm sitting around, nobody's around. I said, you know what? If I'm not having a heart attack and I'm perfectly fine, just send me home. So the nurses tell me, oh no, sit down. All the testing showed that you had a heart attack. You're having surgery in the morning. Okay, I feel a little vindicated, right? But the journey's not over. Now I have to think to myself, wow, am I at my young age really going through this? Am I really having cardiac surgery early in the morning? All right. Cardiologist comes in. It's going to be a piece of cake. You look pretty healthy. It's going to be a nothing procedure. All right. Well, it was a nothing procedure. As I woke up in recovery, the nurses told me that they had to do nothing. When they got in there, I was healthy as a horse. Thank God. So I said, well, why did all the signs show that I had a heart attack? We don't know. No idea. Test after test, month after month, a couple months later, we finally found that there's a couple viruses that attack the lining of my heart. So you could be fit, you could be trim, you never know because it's not in your hands. All right, so now we found out what caused a heart attack. Now what? Well, they put me on some medications, they weren't really working, and then 2 months later, I got to see the COVID. It finally got me. All right, well, that took care of the rest of my hormones, my entire blood panel, everything crashed, all my hormones crashed. All right, so I'm human after all. Superman found his kryptonite. I went through that for about 1.5 years where medications weren't working. I kept losing weight and losing weight and losing weight. I lost about 45 pounds. I went from a pretty big, strong, strapping young man. Now, I can't say I was skinny, but for me, for being pretty big most of my adult life, training with weights, doing mixed martial arts, powerlifting, I was a pretty big guy. So for me, I was skinny. But I never gave up. I remember being quarantined by myself after all the heart problems, being the high risk factor for COVID, which turned out not to be a major thing. But I remember being day 6 of COVID, quarantined. I said, you know what? Why am I sitting around? Why is my brain turning to mush already? You know, I've had enough of Netflix for a couple of days. I was reading a lot of things from the Torah. It was amazing, uplifting. But I did my share of Netflix for the first time in years. I was getting bored. So what? I started doing workouts. And not a lot of them, but little minis, 5 minutes, 10 minutes throughout the day. And by day 8 or 9, I mean, I was raring to go. Yes, I had a little bit of shortness of breath. I was still off, but I pushed it. And it just shows you that nothing should stop you. Your mindset is everything. If you feel you're sick, you're sick. If you feel you're healthy, you're healthy. If you push forward, you're going to move forward. It's very hard to go down the freeway with your foot on the gas pedal and the brake pedal at the same time. Most people stop themselves. You have to pick a lane. You're either going to put on the gas or you're going to put on the brake. Trying to hit the freeway with your gas and the brake at the same time is just going to halt your progress. So I'm a very gas pedal kind of guy. I pushed it with the health issues. I pushed it through school when people told me, you're never going to make it. You, a doctor? Never. Okay. 1 degree, next degree, following degree. Great. You'll never own your own business. Oh, yes, I will. Next thing you know, I opened a small clinic in Los Angeles, expand it, work hard, market, talk to people, treat people well. You know what happens when you treat people well? They tell other people, and then they tell other people, and then they tell other people, and they tell other people, and they tell other people. And next thing you know, you have quite a few busy clinics of happy people who are getting great service and telling other people. And then little by little, another philosophy comes up. You get to know people, and people approach you because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. So they offer you to do business. They present you with information and potential for other businesses. And guess what? God closes one door, opens another door. So as you get opportunities, you have to look for the signs of blessings. And one thing that I've been good at, and maybe one of my superpowers, is accepting the blessings, creating a vessel for the blessings to come in. So when you hear of things, why did that person come into your life? Why did that opportunity come into your life? It came for a reason. So as the door opens and the opportunity presents itself, other businesses open up for me. And guess what? Once again, you treat people well. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. So you start talking to people. And you talk to more people, you treat them well, you provide a service, you provide value, comfort, solutions to problems. When you add all these things together, you become a serial entrepreneur. And now you have a thing called passive income. As money comes in from there, money comes in from there, money comes in from there, people seem to be happy. You keep yourself busy. But the busyness is only if you think you're overwhelmed or busy or you don't like what you do. When you're happy and helping others, it doesn't even seem like work. So people tell me all the time, how do you do it? You just do it. You help people, you do a good job, you listen, provide value, solutions, and next thing you know, more and more people listen to what you have to say. It's awesome. So I just want to say thank you to all you listeners. I want to thank my family, my friends, my partners, my coworkers. I'm very, very blessed. I want to thank my community, and most of all, and number one, I want to thank God, because I'm not here and there's no purpose without a higher purpose, if you guys know what I mean. So be good out there, be happy, be joyous. If you need any help with anything, test me. I'm here to help. I'm here to provide solutions. If I can't help you in some way, I'll find a way to help you with somebody else who has more expertise or knowledge than I do. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to uplift. If you find me inspirational, please follow me. You guys all know all my information. It's posted here. We have information for you all the time. Come listen to me, Dr. Slava Shut. I'll give you things about religion, medicine, health, well-being, finances. You want to just talk? You want to just be uplifted? You have a bad situation? You have something that's bothering you? Reach out. Let's get to know each other. Because again, I want to get to know you, and I want to know how I could be of help. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching us. If you're listening, make sure you rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you for listening to The Time Is Now. And remember, tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. and send in your questions to Dr. Slava Shut on Twitter. Thank you, thank you, thank you.